Well, welcome to the Marketing That Grows Your Business show. Today, we're going to connect the dots, y'all. Everybody's talking about YouTube. Not YouTube, goodness. Instagram. I don't even know where the YouTube thing come from. I think I got YouTube on my brain. Um, but everybody's talking about Instagram and how Instagram has all these amazing new features. A lot of people have jumped on the Instagram bandwagon because they're getting such amazing results there. But it can be overwhelming. It's like, okay, if I'm not there, all the shiny things that are coming through, do I need to do reels? Is stories the thing? Do I need a DM strategy? Like it can be like OMG, right? Like, where do I focus so that I can get to the money? So, we're going to connect the dots today. How do you do less but sell more with our special guest today? So, real quick, I want to welcome everybody again to today's show. I want to say for those that are here in the US, I know we have a worldwide audience, but for those that are in the US, Happy Memorial Day. I hope you have the day off. You're enjoying it. You have something fun planned, a picnic or something. In fact, what do you have planned today? We're going to do a picnic a little bit later today, a cookout rather. It's kind of more of a birthday celebration for my brother-in-law, but still, I'm going to do it. We're going to have, cookout food. We'll see. It's going to be fun. Okay, so a couple of quick things before we bring our special guest in. We are, just real quick, hang on, get my stuff up here. As you guys are coming in, where are you joining us from today? I saw we have my sweetie. I love this girl, Christina. I'm so glad you're here. Love that you're here almost every Monday. Thank you for being here. Happy Memorial Day to you as well. We got Paul here. He's here almost every Monday. Thank you, Paul, for being here. Susie is in the house. Hey, Susie, how is your fur baby this morning? We got Christina is in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We have Florida in the house. Excellent. Charlottesville. Chuck, good to see you, my friend. Hope everybody is doing good. On every show, we do giveaways. I love giving away stuff. And we're going to do something that's specific to Instagram today, okay? So we created, my team did, I can't really take credit for this. I just came up with the idea, but they created this amazingly cute design for a coffee mug. It says DM me. So since we're talking about Instagram today, I thought it was a perfect time to do a DM mug. So 2 winners today. How do you win? You win by doing 3 core things, okay? 1, share your aha moments in the comments down under. So an aha moment is, wow, didn't know that, or hey, I knew that, but I needed to hear it again. Because the reality is that's the truth of it, right? We hear things, we know things all the time, and then we kind of let it go in one out in one ear and out the other. So drop those down under to be entered into the wheel of wow. For every aha moment you have, you get entered into the wheel. We'll spin the wheel at the end and pick our winners. So that's the first way. Second way is tagging someone in the comments or sprinkling it down into the world. If you know somebody that would like to get smarter on Instagram or more intentional on Instagram, maybe that's a better way of saying it, more intentional on Instagram, then definitely tag them, sprinkle it out. Let's get as many folks in on this because we have an amazing special guest that knows her stuff. And I'm excited to hear what she's going to share with us today. The third way that you win is ask questions. We love questions. As on all shows, I do have a list of questions because I want to know things too, but we want your questions. So please feel free to ask questions as we go. We will try to answer as many of those as we possibly can, so that you don't have to work so hard to take notes. If you would like notes, if you'd like, every week we do show notes. We'll be happy to send them to you. All you have to do is put notes down under. Now, here is one small thing. If you are not on Facebook, you're over on LinkedIn, you're on YouTube, you're on Twitter, then come back to kimgars.com/114. And that way we can get the notes to you. They're delivered through my Kimmy the Bot, my little friend that helps me keep track of all of the requests for show notes. But we'll deliver those to you within 24 hours. Okay. So just comment below show notes. We'll take care of you and you'll have access to all the goodies from today and you won't have to worry about taking notes. Okay. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about our special guest, Elise. Elise is an Instagram marketing educator who specializes in helping not so Insta famous business people make real revenue directly from the free app in a way that is bearable and efficient. I love that because I don't know about y'all, but doing all the things can be totally crazy, right? She's helped over 30,000 people truly grow their businesses, sell more programs, and build money-making brands. So you guys put your hands together for Elise. Hey, Elise.
Hi, Kim. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to dig into Instagram for business today.
I am too. I am so excited about this because I've always said this, I'm about the business end of social. Like I'm not on social media just to be social. I mean, even though I love being social, I'm like, what's the business outcome here? And so I'm excited to connect the dots for everybody a little bit today. Awesome. Okay. So just wanted to kind of get a feel for, I know you were on the 100th episode show, but we have a lot of probably new faces. I'd love for you to kind of give people a vision on how you got started in the online space, because I think sometimes people just think, well, we just popped up and we're Insta famous. And I know that that's not usually the case for most of us. So what's your backstory?
Yeah, I always like to say that I am like the bridge between the pre-internet world and then today's digital marketing world. Plus, I also worked in the corporate world. So I've experienced it all and I can help, especially people from the corporate world, I can help them translate their skills and knowledge into the online space, into the digital world. So I got really lucky. I first joined social media marketing in 2010. It was my student job when I was studying and finishing my university degree. I got hired as a social media marketer in 2010, which back then meant running, a Facebook and a Twitter account. And I knew enough about storytelling through my degree, which was in radio and television arts. So I knew that I could kind of figure it out or make it up as I had gotten this job, really luckily. And I just stayed in that digital marketing, social media marketing space while I was studying to go into traditional media. I saw a fork in my road. It's like traditional media, I could become an on-air reporter, a journalist, a news anchor, and work some really wacky hours and hopefully climb my way up that ladder. Or I could do this new thing, this digital media route, which I didn't know much about, but it seemed exciting. And so I stayed in that world and I didn't go into traditional media after all. And by staying in that world, my network they began to see me as the social media person. And so that's how I got my first client in 2013. I helped an e-commerce brand grow their Instagram from about 10,000 followers to over 100,000 followers in less than 6 months. And this was 2013. So it's very different now. But from there, word spread and I got more clients and I was able to help more e-commerce clients grow specifically on Instagram. And it wasn't until 2016 that I created my own personal brand. I created the Elise Darma brand and I started sharing my stories and my travels and my knowledge. And then I realized that my audience didn't want my agency's services. They wanted to know how I was growing, how I was traveling, how I was working online. And so that kind of created a second business, the business that I have today, the Elise Darma brand, as I call it, where I'm a full-time Instagram educator for small businesses. And like you mentioned, we've worked with over 30,000 business owners as my students in my programs. And I've helped them do exactly what you want to do, which is not spend all day on Instagram and make content that actually gets you results, actually brings you sales. And so this is what I do today.
I love it. And I love that you saw that fork You're like, okay, because I think a lot of times, on the outside, looking in from the COVID times, for example, there's a lot of people now that um, didn't take that fork. They took the other road. They went the corporate route, right? And now they're circling back, having to come back to that fork again and choosing a different option, right? Because corporate was, so you are well ahead, I think, from a lot of potentially your age bracket, if you will, because they took that more of a corporate road. I love that. Interesting. So, what led you to decide to focus primarily on Instagram? I mean, was it because you loved it, or was there some other reason that you're like, this is my primary focus? This is where my jam is.
I got lucky. It was the timing of when I got my first client. Instagram was hot. Like this was 2013, 2014. Influencer marketing was just popping off. So with my clients initially, a lot of my time was spent messaging teenagers on the app and sending them free product in exchange for a shout out or a post in their feed. And so I again fell into it. And with Instagram, it was the new kid on the block back then. And in 2015, 2016, that's when I decided to stop hiding myself on the platform. I did have accounts on the platform, but I would use them to like stalk my clients' competitors. I thought I had to be stealthy on Instagram. So I didn't want them to know that I was working for my clients. But in 2016, I decided, you know what? I've been traveling for a couple of years. I've been running my own business for a couple of years. I probably have things to share. And so I did dabble a little bit in the influencer space, where I would go to Bali and pose in the fields in a dress, and I'd go on the swing and take these beautiful photos. So I did dabble in the influencer space a little bit myself, but I found that it wasn't for me. I didn't ultimately want to grow my personal brand by working with other brands. I didn't want to sponsor other brands. I wanted to grow my business. I wanted to sell more of my offers. And like I said at that time, my audience didn't want my agency offers, but I saw an opportunity for a second business. And that's when I started selling digital products. I sold my very first course in 2017. And today, this is my primary focus. So maybe I had an instinct for Instagram. Maybe I just got super lucky. But I think a big part of it was being in the right place at the right time, for sure.
Well, they always say that, and I think early adopters always have an advantage. So any of these new things that come along, if you roll into them kind of hard, then yeah, I think it gives you an edge. Absolutely. So when it comes to Instagram, how do you think it's really changed the marketing landscape for a small business owner? I mean, and I'm just curious as to whether you feel, because I'd like to put this age old like debate about like who's on the platform, like it's only youngsters, like, how has it changed the marketing landscape across the board for like the majority, not necessarily just the youngsters?
Yeah, well, going back to the 2016, 2017 years, influencer marketing was what most people were talking about with Instagram. Like it was the best place to become an influencer. And if you were a company, it was the best place to work with influencers. But that didn't really apply to all business types. And so what I started to see in 2018, 2019, 2020, Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, slash now called Meta, Instagram's features really started to change in those years to help creators, to help business owners. In those years, we got so many more features added to our direct messages, which is a perfect place to close sales. We got stories, which was a great place to show behind the scenes. We got going live, which really took off in 2020 with everyone in lockdown. And we've since in 2020 also gotten Instagram Reels. So yes, Instagram does have a habit of copying other hot features from other platforms and adopting them. But what I've found is that the way Instagram incorporates these new features into its platform, they're honestly just so powerful for businesses. That's why I still believe in Instagram to this day. It's changed so much. And honestly, thankfully, it's no longer an app just for influencers because that wouldn't have been for me. But today it's just such a powerful tool for business owners. And we can dig more into, what features I really like focusing in on, because that's the key. That's the key as a business owner, is to not join Instagram and think that you need to use all the features all the time, because that would become your part-time job. You need to strategically choose the features that your business really needs the most right now. What kind of content can you create today that's going to give you the most return on your effort? That's where I want your head to be when it comes to using Instagram for your business.
I love that you said that, because there's a lot of interest in some of the other platforms, TikTok. That's become absolutely an influencer type of environment, and I think it will probably progress to more. We're already seeing it already progressing more to being broader. It's not just an influencer thing anymore. But I really want to dig in, because you just said this about the content and the features. I just doing some little stalking. I know you feel like there are seasons in, and I think that's the way you refer to it, seasons in, how we show up on Instagram. Can you explain that a little bit, and then we'll dig into the content pieces?
Yes. So you're right. I have something that I call the seasons method. And this was something I developed to really kind of correlate for business owners the phases that their business goes through and how that can apply to social media, specifically Instagram. So if you think about your business, right? Your business starts, you create it. Well, when you first create your business or your brand, you need visibility. You need people to know about it. Otherwise, you can have an amazing offer. You're not going to get sales if people don't know that you exist. So the very first thing we all need is visibility. We need an audience. That's why so many people focus on, free traffic, free lead gen, followers. Those are all just audience building ways. And so when your business has an audience, the next thing that you typically will do, which is exactly what I did when I started my personal account on Instagram, I had this audience of followers, but I didn't know what they wanted from me. So I asked them. So oftentimes when you grow your audience, you need to engage with them. It's not just a one-way street. You're not a broadcaster where you're just shouting information and sharing information without receiving anything in return. This is social media. As you said, there is that social element. So all businesses do need to engage with their audience. They need to understand, what are the questions people are asking on their comments? What are the questions people are sending to their DMs? When you create a story and you create a poll and you ask for people's opinion, where are they in their growth, right? It depends on your audience. For me, I attract an audience of business owners. So I like to know, have you started a business, or are you planning to start a business? Are you making $1,000 a month, or are you making $5,000 a month? This is the kind of feedback that I want from my audience, because that feedback will then determine, are they a good fit for my offer? Are they the ideal person for what it is that I have to offer? And so after going through this engagement period, your business now needs to know not just who's interested enough to comment, but who is interested enough to put their hand up and give you their email address, or eventually give you their credit card number, right? Because a business doesn't exist without sales and customers. So the third season or phase of growth that a business goes through is this lead generation phase. So I did the exact same thing when I grew my personal account. I first grew for followers. Then I thought, whoa, I don't know why these people are following me. So I asked and I did some surveys. And then to actually generate leads from my audience, I created a opt-in or a freebie or a lead magnet, all the many terms that we have for this. And I created some free information that people could gain access to by giving me their email address. So that was the exchange. And so that's how I started my email marketing list back in 2016, 2017. And so I really saw my leads or my email subscribers as the creme de la creme. I had 30,000 Instagram followers, but a lot of those people were just passively looking at my content. The people who joined my email list, who raised their hand and said, yes, I want that free thing, that told me that they were warm. They weren't just a cold, mildly interested follower. They were warm. And so when I launched my very first product, which leads me to the last season or last phase of growth that all businesses go through, when I launched and sold something for the very first time, The people who I worked with the most and communicated with the most were the people on my email list. Those were my warmest leads. And so that's when I sold my very first digital product, an online course, and we welcomed in about 50 founding members. So it's really funny when you look at social media. I had 30,000 Instagram followers. From that, about 500 people joined my list once I started my email marketing efforts, right? 500 people. And then from that, 50 people bought my product. So that's the term funnel marketing right there for you. So you do want to have a wide net initially. And then when you ask people to take that next step with you, the lead generation step or the engagement step, it's going to get smaller. And then it's going to be generally a smaller group of people who will actually buy your offer. So that's all very normal. And that's how I see Instagram. Instagram, I want a wide net of people. I want as many people to know my name and my brand as much as possible, because the really interested people or the people who are ready for me or ready for my offers, they're going to join my email list. They're going to join my live class that's coming up soon. And then maybe they'll also buy my products. So I love for business owners to understand what phase their business is in when it comes to this growth, the 4 seasons or the growth, depending if they're just starting their business. And then once you know the season, you can actually ignore quite a few of the Instagram features and just focus on the features that are really, really perfect for the season that you're in. And when I teach business owners this, it's just like a sigh of relief, because you don't have to do all the things on Instagram. You're busy enough. You can just use the features that are going to get you the most bang for your buck. So it's
I
powerful.
love that. And such a great explanation of how you get to the sale. I think a lot of times I've seen it over and over and over again. People miss one of those phases, like, right there, and most often, I think the one that they missed most frequently is the lead gen one. They're not moving people from social media to their email list. And that is that's like fall, y'all. if you're like looking at it in a season progression, you've got to get those folks, as many of them as you can, from social to your email list, because those, as Elise said, those are your warm leads and where the majority of your sales will happen. So I love that you really explained that so beautifully. So let's transition a little bit. So let's assume, and let's give maybe a specific example. Let's say that that maybe somebody has built a small community on Instagram, and they've gotten to that place where, okay, I think I'm out of spring. I need to start lead gen. How would you recommend that they start doing lead gen using Instagram?
Great question. And I get this question a lot too, where business owners say, well, Elise, it's not that clean for you, for me. I'm not going from needing followers to needing engagement to needing leads to sales. I need all of these things all the time. So to a certain extent, the seasons method also depends on your business model. Some people are needing leads and clients all the time because they have an ongoing service or they offer coaching all the time. For some people, they launch, right? They'll launch their product and then it closes. So in between launches, they're going to work on their visibility so that for the next launch, they have fresh people to communicate with. So one caveat is it depends on your business model. But the second thing is as much as you can, build in the systems and the tools and the funnels so that, if you're in a season of, let's say, visibility, you want followers on Instagram, you still have the systems in place to collect leads. So for example, when I make a reel, which is one of the best ways to get visibility right now on Instagram, when I make a reel where I'm giving away caption tips, right? So in the reel, I'm going to share 6 ways to write a headline for your caption. That's pure value. And I know it's going to get seen by my audience and hopefully new people as well. So the reel is going to give me visibility, but I'm going to make sure to build in a call to action into the video itself or into the caption itself of the reel. I'm going to build in a call to action to send people to my freebie where I give them 12 caption templates, right? And so that way my focus is on getting viewers, getting followers, getting views to my reel. But I've also created a path for them to grab my freebie, the 12 caption templates, and then they're also joining my email list. They're also taking that next step and entering my world. So these are ongoing funnels or systems in the background of my business all the time. We could even take YouTube, for example. I know you mentioned YouTube. When I publish a YouTube video, I build in call to actions either into the video itself or into the description of the video, so that no matter what's going on in my business, maybe I'm running a flash sale, but that video is an evergreen video that's going to generate views. And if people get to the point where they see the call to action, they can grab my freebie or my opt-in at any time. And so my email list is always growing in the background. So I know it's not totally cut and dry, but it again depends on your business model, what your business needs, and setting up these kind of more evergreen systems so that your content, as it grows in views, it will always be sending you traffic and leads back to your business, even if it's like 6 months down the road.
Yes. I think that I frequently say that content is a gift that just keeps on giving if it is evergreen, and then the social space, the reality is things change so quickly. Sometimes, having that, content stay like true for years is not necessarily going to happen, but there's a lot of foundational stuff that you can incorporate into a lot of business models, or business, depending on your area of expertise, that you can really leverage. So I love that you just do such a great job of explaining, connecting the dots. So I really appreciate that. So in your opinion, what are the top 3 Instagram features that you see working the best right now? Now, I understand that it depends on the seasons and, depending on what your end goal is, what is your end goal? But what are you seeing working the best right now for small business owners?
Yeah, if I were to simplify things and not even try to apply the seasons method to my business, if I were to simplify things, and even if I were to start my account from scratch today, the very first feature I would mostly focus in on is Instagram Reels. We've had Reels for almost 2 years now, which is wild. Feels like they're still new, but they came out in August of 2020. And they're still really the most effective way to grow on Instagram. I've seen some accounts grow using short form videos, which is what a reel is. It's like a 10-second, 15-second, can be up to 60-second long video. I've seen some accounts grow faster in 2020 and 2021 than was possible back when I started on Instagram in 2013, 2014. Like, we're getting that viral growth. So if I were to start a new account, I would just make short, snappy videos, whether I'm talking on camera like this or I'm adapting a trend to my niche. I would probably try both, but I would aim for publishing 1 video reel a day. And the rest of the content, like a carousel post or just a regular photo-based post or a quote card, I probably wouldn't make. I would just focus on reels because they're that powerful right now. So reels are amazing for visibility, meaning follower growth, meaning eyeballs onto your Instagram account and your brand. After that, if I wanted engagement, the next feature that I would focus on, the best feature currently to engage with your current following, is Instagram stories. So Instagram stories is still a great place to share like the behind the scenes of your business, whether it's you as a solopreneur or maybe you have an office full of employees. Instagram stories expire after 24 hours. So it's a really great way to share like the reality TV show version of your business. And you can also share non-business related things too. For example, I just got my nails done this morning. And even though they're done, they're set, the choice is done, I still like to snap a picture and share it to my stories and ask my audience, yay or nay, do they like them? And funny enough, some of my most viewed stories are where people are voting on my nails. So they're using the poll sticker and voting yay or nay on my nails. So it has nothing to do with my business. And it's just for fun. It's a way for people to share their opinion. It's a way for them to get to know my style, my taste, my personality. And that's exactly what stories are for. And the cool thing is when you have a story that is highly viewed, like my nails stories, the stories after that, the ones you post after, are going to continue to get that higher viewership on your content. So it is great to have stories, that get a lot of views, even if it's not related to your business. But stories are amazing because stickers are such an easy way for people to share their engagement, whether it's a poll, a quiz, a slider sticker, the question box. These are all quick, easy ways for you to add an engagement feature basically to your story so that your audience can quickly engage. And the other great thing about stories is that if you ask a question, you simply ask your followers to reply to your story with their answer. And what that does is create a DM request, a direct message request. When they reply to your story, you're then in your inbox going to see a request for people to DM you. And this is powerful because, well, let's go into lead generation. DMs are really powerful for creating and generating leads, especially if people are engaging with your stories. They're a warm, active follower. If they're replying to your story and creating a direct message thread with you, the DMs are powerful for lead gen because you can send an unlimited number of links. So unlike your one link in your bio, you can send someone 10 links. You could send them a video saying, "Hey, Sharon, thank you for the follow. It's great to connect here. What are you looking for today when it comes to your business," or whatever your niche is. You can send them a video, you can send them a photo, you can send them a voice note, you can send them a text. The DMs just have all the ways for us to connect with our audience. And so that's what I would focus on next. After Reels, after Stories, I would really manage my DMs to make sure that I'm nurturing those conversations that are happening. And then when it comes to sales, which is our last season, you're going to stay in the DMs. The DMs are the best place to answer any questions that someone has. Again, share that more personal side, whether you're sending them a personalized video or voice note, but the DMs is really where sales happen. So those are the three main features I would focus on: Reels, Stories, DMs. And if you feel like doing something a little bit extra, you can always go live. Just like we're live right now, going live on Instagram is really powerful for, engagement and lead generation as well. So those are the main features I've
So good. So does that relieve everybody just a little bit? Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, that's still a lot. Right? Like she said, I had to do a reel a day. What the heck? So let's dig into that just for a second. Like, do you have some strategies that you would recommend to make it easy for people to set down for 2 hours to get their reels done, like batching, or what's your strategy for helping people to get that content created in a timely manner so that they're not getting up every day and stressing over, I got to do a reel today?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes inspiration strikes. Like this morning, I was on TikTok and I saw this audio reel that I really liked, and I just filmed it and made it and posted it really quickly. Sometimes that happens, but as a business owner, I'm juggling different things where I'm not just filming content, but I've got my inbox to go through. I've got my bookkeeping to take care of. We're hiring. I've got some content to review. So creating content is just like one part of my week. And that's what I do. I block 2 hours every Thursday for filming content. And this is specifically Instagram content, separate from YouTube content. And, I don't always use that 2-hour block, but it's always there in my calendar as a reminder. And this is also my reminder to myself, like, oh, I don't have to get fully ready every single day of the week, but I know Thursday I'm filming. And so maybe I'll blow dry my hair and do my makeup that day. That's also not a necessity anymore. Luckily, with TikTok and Reels, you don't have to look perfect. You can actually roll out of bed and film in your house coat if you'd like. I see a lot of business friends doing that with success. So it just depends on what resonates most with your audience. But absolutely I block 2 hours just to be safe every Thursday for filming Reels. And then what happens behind the scenes before every Thursday is my team and we use a project management tool called Asana. And there are similar tools out there like Trello and Airtable, but we use Asana. And what we do is we have a board or like a project board specifically for Instagram production. So what we'll do is anytime we see an idea that I could adapt and use for my business, we'll throw it into Asana. And then either myself or a team member will review all the ideas and before my film day, I'll actually go through all of them and write out how I can adapt it to my niche. So this would be me sitting down on my desktop, looking at the reels, looking at the ideas, and then adapting them to my niche. And what I'm doing is actually planning for my film session on Thursday. So I'm planning out what I might say on camera, or I'm planning out what text I'm going to add on screen. And I know this part can feel like, oh, this is taking a long time, but doing this step, this is what makes your filming process so much faster. This is why you can film like 20 videos in one film session, because you've done this planning. So we do this planning in advance. Then when I'm filming on Thursday, I'll look at all the pre-planned ideas, and then it's just like film, save the draft, don't edit it, but film it, save it, and then move on to the next one. Film the next one, save it, and keep going. So that's the batching aspect. I'll film it all at once, and then either later that day or the next day, I'll sit down and do all my editing. So any trimming of the clips, any adding text on screen that I've already pre-planned, I will do that in usually one go. And again, I'll save them as drafts to my phone, so that now once I'm done the editing process, I have 20 videos ready to be posted. So if I'm doing one video a day, that's videos for the next month, Monday through Friday, 20 videos, boom, done. And then when it comes to captions, reel captions are a little shorter, a little snappier than your average caption. So if you have a writer on your team or a VA, you might want them to preview all your drafts and help you write a caption. Or if you'd like, you can write a caption on the fly right before you publish, or you can use some of my caption prompts and templates to help you get that part of the publishing process done. So that in a nutshell is my Reels creation process.
I love it. I love it. We had a great question here too from Charlie. He asked, I love the Reels focus. And I agree. I think that I'm not active with Reels at all. Going to try to change that. Well, what is the best way to learn how to do this well? Do you have a suggestion? Like, is it like, you were talking about recording all these. So my question to tag on to this, because it really goes with his question, is do you use the app itself to record or do you use some other app and then adapt it for the Instagram reel after the fact? So I'm curious about that because it goes with his question, I think. So how do you do it, I guess?
Well, sometimes I'll film in the Instagram Reels app, but only very simple reels will I do that. So if I'm talking on camera and I'm going to add some text on screen, I can do that all within the Reels app. I'm not going to lie, the Reels app can be a little bit glitchy because it's a newer feature that Instagram added in 2020. I still find that it's a little glitchy. For example, if ever I try to do like a voiceover, so I'll try to match my mouth's movement to an audio clip, I find it's always off by half a second and it's very frustrating. So even though I'm an Instagram marketer, my favorite place to record short form videos is actually on TikTok. And TikTok is its own culture, but oftentimes the trends that you see on Reels have already started on TikTok. So TikTok is a great place for you to just be a little ahead of the curve. And I know you might think like, oh, I don't know if my audience is on TikTok, or isn't TikTok for teens? But seriously, if you haven't yet opened up TikTok, create an account, open it, and just look. And when you have a new account, you're probably going to be served up some videos that are not of interest to you. So don't engage with those videos. But what I recommend doing is going to the search bar. There's a little, discover page on TikTok, and type in your industry or type in your niche. Honestly, even if it's accounting, even if it is, how to use Excel spreadsheets, there are all these niches. Probably your niche, but all these niches are on TikTok because we know TikTok now has over 1 billion users. So chances are your audience is there and your niche is already there. So go ahead and take a look at what people are doing in your niche. There's one account where a guy is just giving like math tips. He's just sharing how to solve certain math equations, and he has over 1 million followers. So the whole idea of needing to be on top of trends or dancing or to look done up every single day, that's just not the case for TikTok. So if you're new, create an account, find your industry, look at what kind of content is being created in your industry, and just scroll. and just watch TikTok initially, because it is its own culture. It is its own language. And like I said, once you get familiar with it, start creating from TikTok. That's personally what I do. It can look overwhelming because there's a lot of features on TikTok, but I have a ton of tutorials on YouTube. You can find my YouTube channel. It's called Elise Darma. And tons of tutorials are there for you to just get started with learning how to make TikToks. The key thing is learning how to film clips, how to trim the clips, how to add your text on screen, and how to set the duration of the text so that it appears and disappears when you want it to. That's really all you need to know when it comes to TikTok editing. Once you can create videos on TikTok, there are ways that you can publish your video on TikTok and actually repurpose the video, remove the TikTok watermark, and post it to Instagram as well. So that way you're creating one video on one platform, but reposting it to Instagram, YouTube Shorts. You can post it on Pinterest. Every platform wants video now. But that's overall my strategy. I create on TikTok, I repurpose the video for all other platforms.
So good. Such a great strategy. So I have one other question that kind of follows, and I think it's a great one. So Paul says, where do you store them until you're ready to use them? So for people who have teams, for example, this is always one of those big questions. It's like, okay, if I'm creating this content, like, where does it go? Do I have to, am I responsible as the business owner to still like post this stuff? Am I doing it all, or can I get help? So I'm curious about that question too.
Yeah, it's a great question. So when I'm filming, I'll save it as a draft. So what it will do is a copy will save in my app on my phone. However, if my team member were to sign into my TikTok account from their phone, they wouldn't see my drafts there, because all video that you save as a draft is saved locally to your phone. So what you can do is while you're editing your video, you can save a copy to your camera roll. And this is more so a feature in Instagram Reels itself versus TikTok. So there's like a little downward arrow button. You can tap that and a copy of the video is going to save to your camera roll. I recommend saving as backup just in case, I don't know, you ever lost your drafts or the app reset or something like that. But that's the best. That's what I do, is I'll save a copy to my phone and then I'll upload that version to our project management tool, Asana. And that way my team members can actually preview what I've filmed, which will help them write a caption or whatever it is that they need to do next. So that is the one big thing about creating video content, is it's not so easy to share the video with your team members. When you film on your phone and save any draft, it's only going to be saved on your phone. To pass it along to your team member, you would either have to save a copy to your phone and share it with your team, or you're just the one in charge of editing your videos. So that's why I like to keep my videos very simple. Talk on camera, make sure my clips are tight. I'll trim them, I'll add text on screen, and then I will publish it. And it just makes it easier for me to film and to edit. So that's my current strategy.
I love that. You talked about the, TikTok and how many amazingly, I'm going to call them talking head educators,
Yep.
kind of. And when TikTok first came along, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that dancing thing. But it's amazing. There are some really incredible talking head educators on TikTok that are just blowing it up, of all age brackets, all different kinds of knowledge bases. It's incredible. So, if you, I feel like there's an opportunity, because it's the same opportunity. Essentially, they're just two different platforms, but the content can be rich in both places. You can create it, which you could even create it on Instagram, and then, use it for TikTok. But if you I've heard other people say this too, that the TikTok app is so much easier to use than Instagram's. So get the most bang for your buck, repurpose your content, in all the places. So let me ask you this. Do you think, like, there's always something happening, the latest and greatest shiny object lack of a better way of saying it. Instagram in particular, I think, is constantly changing and evolving, and I love that personally, because it means that they're listening, that they're trying to evolve, that they're trying to make things better. But it can also be a little overwhelming for the business owner to stay on top of all these things.
Yeah.
So what's your advice for people that like feel like, all right, am I FOMO? Do I need to know about all this stuff, or can I just stay in my lane? What are
Yeah, so to a certain extent, once you're settled in your industry, in your niche, that is the lane that you stay in. The way that you share information about your niche, the format, the type of content, that's what might change. And so that's how I like to approach it is I've been sharing about Instagram marketing tips since 2016. The format of how I've shared those tips, that's what's changed. And that's what I've had to adapt as the platform has drastically gone from purely about photos and images to mostly about videos now. It's videos, or why even be on the platform? Like, you really want to be sharing videos. And I know that can feel daunting and scary, but like you said, there are so many people who are just rising to the top by showing up on camera and just talking and sharing their knowledge. And even when I look at my best performing reels, my best performing videos, it's not where I am jumping on a trend and adapting it to my niche. It's really where I'm talking on camera and giving free value and giving free tips. So that's what I recommend for business owners. And, again, things have changed. Yes, we're no longer in 2016 when it comes to Instagram. But if you want to leverage Instagram being a free app, if you want to leverage it and find your customers there, then the best, most effective way is to learn how to be on video for your camera, for your video, or for your business. And I was just thinking about your brand, Kim, and how you already are on video. You're so naturally great on video. You're doing a live show right now, which so many business owners don't do because it takes a lot of effort. So for you to be on video, I don't think it would be a huge jump from what you're doing already. It's really just a matter of distilling your big ideas that, normally it might take you 5 minutes to explain. Now you have to crunch it down into 15 seconds. That's the hardest part. But once you get it down into a catchy hook that grabs the attention of your target audience, a couple sentences that share the value, share the free information, and then a last sentence that ends with a call to action, you can get really tight with your editing to make sure all your sentences are really close together, because people's attention spans are short. So what I say is you want to talk fast and edit fast so that you grab people's attention and keep it. But that would be a really interesting thing for you to incorporate into your business, just to see what happens, to see how people can, let's say we just did a 45-minute show right now. What if you made a reel where you shared your number one takeaway from this show, or you shared your top 3 takeaways very quickly? That would be a really cool summary of today's show and distilling 50 minutes of information into 15 seconds.
So you just painted the exact problem that I have. I struggle to be succinct. I chat too much. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to say all this in 15 seconds? No, I'm making a joke. But no, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's been on my list of top priorities for like a year now. I've got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. But I always feel like I have to have the plan in place and all the systems, and I just need to do it down and dirty and messy, like I tell everybody else to do it. This is one of those situations where, you tell everybody else to do it and you should be doing it yourself, yeah. So y'all, I'm totally transparent with my messiness. Like, I haven't done this yet, but I do agree. I think that TikTok and Instagram are, and honestly, even YouTube it's all video. At the root of it, it's all video. I think if we do not all of us, if we don't embrace video moving forward, we are going to be left behind. So I'm just saying real quick. So I wanted to give a shout out here to Beauty by Tanel. She says, let me go back to what the shout out is. She's like, I didn't know that TikTok was easier than IG. So she's going to try it. But she also had a question. She says, do you create on your phone, then post or create the video on TikTok, then post? I think you talked about that, but I'm not sure if it was super clear. So I thought I'd pull her question back up and see how you do.
I think the question is referring to, do you create in the TikTok app, or do you film on your camera roll and then bring it into the app? That's my impression of what the question is. And for the most part, I will film directly in the TikTok app. I have all this equipment around me. I have a tripod. Let me just grab it. I have a squeaky chair, but I have this tripod, the Joby tripod. And then this up here is a smartphone attachment. And, this together was like $50 from Amazon. I've had this for years. And the cool thing is these legs will like bend so I can put it on my couch behind me. But usually I'll just set it up on my desk. This part will hold my phone right here. And then I'll have the app open on my phone and I'll hit record. If I ever need light, so light is very important for TikToks as well. I'll face the window, or I'll turn the ring light on and make sure that my face is well lit. So if I find that when I start filming in the right environment, like I have the equipment, I have the light, then I can film directly within the app. And again, always save copies to your camera roll or save to the drafts so that you don't lose what you've filmed. But 90% of the time I'm filming within the app. Sometimes for like talking head videos, I might film within my camera app. And then in another app, the one that I like to use, it's called InShot. In that app, I will actually cut up the clips that I filmed of me talking, and I'll just make them very short and succinct and tight. So that's a good question.
Such a good question. One of the things I thought of, you talked about your 2 hours where you batch your content. So what does that look like from a clothing perspective? Like, do you understand what I'm asking? Like, do you have to have, if you're going to shoot 20 videos, do you have 20 outfits that you have to change into?
Well, the good news is that with videos, most of the time you only see your upper half. So I do have a closet full of jackets and my other closet with my actual shirts. And so usually what I'll do is I'll start with like a white t-shirt for one video. I might film a couple in the same shirt, but I'll often grab a jacket and I'll throw that on top, or I'll grab an accessory. So right now I find glasses are kind of fun to play with. These are blue light glasses. And so I'll still wear the same shirt, but in the next video I'll be wearing the glasses. Or movement is also cool in video. So you don't want to just be like static, but I'll start the video where I'm like, hey, 3 things that I heard about, blah, blah, blah. I'll like start with that movement of either swinging in my chair or moving my glasses up. Or, I'm not afraid of costumes. I have a top hat behind me. I have a scarf behind me. I filmed one video the other week, which had a bit of a 60s vibe. So I tied the scarf around my head. The top hat was because I was pretending to be a concierge person at a hotel. So I have a bit of a budget for buying costumes on Amazon, but it honestly makes it more fun for me. So investing in some accessories makes filming more fun. Using hats, using jackets, maybe changing into like 3 to 4 different tops just to bring color to your videos. I find that's a really good way to shake it up too. But have something. I do find that, when I have a completely like plain white background and I'm wearing a plain white t-shirt, if I don't have anything, it's just almost too easy for people to scroll on by. So have something, whether it's aspirational. So some people will film wearing bright red lipstick because it's a way to get attention and because it looks good and people will aspire to look that same way. You can do something like that, or you can just have something in your lens and as you're filming that captures attention. So like I said, the glasses, or another trick that I like to use is I have a lav mic, like a lavalier mic that will attach to my shirt, and it plugs into my phone. So sometimes I will hold the mic as it's recording into my phone. So you can plug it into your phone. It will record very nice audio directly into your TikTok or Reels app. So sometimes I'll hold the mic, and I don't have it in front of me right now, but it has a cord. And so sometimes I'll wrap random things into the cord, like when you pull your headphones out of your purse and the headphones are all tangled and there's a pen and there's a flosser in there. I'll do the same thing with my mic, my lav mic string. So I will like loop a pen in there. I'll add a flosser, sometimes a tampon, and I don't address it. I'm just holding it. And you can look at my TikTok, you can look at my reels to see where I do this, but I'm just holding it. And all these things are kind of, hanging on to the string, and I'll share my video that way. And people love it. I don't know if they love it, but it certainly generates comments where I'm not addressing all the things hanging off the string, but people in the comments are like, is that a tampon? Is that a pen? I don't understand what's going on. And people will have full-on conversations. But the funny thing is they might be focused on what's in front of them, but they're still hearing the information. They're still taking in the information that I'm sharing. So these are a few of my fun tricks that I like to use to keep
so
from
clever. And what I find fascinating is, as Susie just said it, comedy and curiosity for the win, right? People are more focused on the visual components sometimes than they are on the content, but it still generates engagement. And potentially though, I find that if I find a reel that catches my attention for a visual reason, I rewatch it. So then I, sometimes 2 or 3 times, which means that, I'm actually getting the content, not just the visual component. So you got to grab the attention first, right? So let me ask y'all before I give you a chance to tell everybody how to connect with you and everything. I just have one. I think this is an important one. Can you share an example? And you don't necessarily have to name the person or the business, but share an example of somebody who went from like, hey, I'm just getting started, I'm a beginner, to using some of these techniques that you teach. What was the result from a business perspective for them?
Well, if you head to my website, elisedarma.com, you're going to see a bunch of case studies because we've collected a lot of these stories along the way, because I wanted my website visitors to see that people from so many different niches have used Instagram. We have a Botox doctor in Toronto. We have Adrienne, who is a yoga teacher who, in lockdown life had to shut down her studio and moved her entire business online. And she's someone who comes to mind because she started her account from zero in 2020. And within 10 months, her entire audience was just grown on Instagram. But within 10 months, she generated $100,000 in sales to her business because she had to pivot because of her business being shut down. And she only used Instagram to grow her audience. So her story is there as well. We have Lonnie, who's an artist who started sharing his art online. And he said that it wasn't until he got on video. He joined one of my products called Videos Vault, which is a $47 product that teaches you how to do TikToks, how to make reels, and it gives you 300 ideas. So he grabbed this product. His business went from about $800 in revenue one month to over $15,000 in revenue the next month. And he attributed it to being on video. So there's a lot of power in being on camera. One more story that comes to mind is same thing, April of 2020, I received a message from a woman named Sade who said, hey, Elise, I saw your video on making TikToks and I finally joined TikTok. I made one and it has 40,000 views. Thank you so much. This is so cool. So this was April of 2020. Today, Sade has over 1 million followers on TikTok and well over 500,000 followers on Instagram. Like, her growth blew past all of my accounts because she started on video in the spring of 2020 and she stuck with it. She continued to share tips. Most of her videos are of her talking on camera and sharing information. She's in the career space, so she helps people with their careers. And it's just so powerful. And of course, I can't share these stories and guarantee that they'll work for you, but So many of my programs and products today are just helping business owners take that first step. Like, we'll help you come up with an idea that works for your niche. We'll help you come up with an idea that works for your business. I'll give you 300 ideas that I brainstormed. I'll show you how to make the TikToks. I'll give you everything so that you get over that first hump. That first hump is the hardest, where you don't want to be on camera. You don't like how you sound. You don't like how you look. You don't think that you're very eloquent. I've been there. I've been working on my camera skills since 2016. You can go look at my first YouTube video. You can see how things have changed. I totally understand. And but I also know the power of video marketing for business owners. So all my efforts today, my free content, my paid content, is to help business owners like get over that initial hump, try it. And then once you start seeing results, it's kind of addicting. It's hard to stop because it's so good for business.
So good. I love it. So real quick, I want to let everybody know who the winners are for the DM mug. You are going to need it now, right? So congrats to Sally and Beauty by Tanel for winning the DM mug. So go over to kimgross.com/winner. Give us your details and we'll get those shipped out to you guys ASAP. So Elise, just again, stalking mode when I was trying to get ready for this. I know you have a masterclass or a workshop that's coming up, but where would you like people to connect with you?
There's so many good places. Of course, on Instagram at Elise Darma, Darma. That's the best place to see the latest. So I am hosting a live workshop on Wednesday. So you can go to my link in bio and check that out if you'd like to join. So on Instagram, and then YouTube is also a really great place for tutorials, ideas. You can look at our whole library of free video content, and we're investing in our YouTube content even more. So definitely go ahead and find me on YouTube, subscribe, and check out what we've got going on there. And then the whole main hub of everything is my website, elisedarma.com. So if you want to find those case studies I mentioned, if you want to find any of my free or paid training products, head to elisedarma.com and you will find them there.
Awesome. Well, guys, definitely connect with Elise because did she drop like so much amazingness, right? So put your hands together and thank her. I want to give a shout out. Thank you so much for sharing your amazingness with us. For all of you guys that are listening, whether you're with us live, whether you're joining, watching or listening on the replay, thank you guys for your time and your attention. It's always appreciated. I know it's your number one most valuable asset. So when you spend time with us, we appreciate it. So take care of yourselves, stay safe, and God bless. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. We've got a Ron from Monday.com coming next week. So we're going to talk tools. All right. So talk to you soon. Again, stay safe. Have a great rest of your holiday weekend.
Thank you. Bye.